Welcome to year 2 of Finding Monster Right. The show about finding monsters, right?
Yep.
I'm
right.
A year. It took us a year to get it right. I'm your host, Adam.
I'm your host, Allie.
And we are here to bring
Bitches.
We're here to bring you monsters from all across the world. Fiction, folklore, fables. And in this case, we're going to bring you them back again.
Yes, this is episode 2 of June of the Living Dead, where we bring back some old topics.
Yes, specifically topics about undead.
And appropriately enough, in this, our 53rd episode, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zombo number 5, a guide for the hopeless necromantic. We covered zombies in our first ever episode, and when you go to podcasting school,
they always tell you that you should throw out the first, 3 episodes.
Throw out the first 3 episodes. We did not do that. So the third episode that we did is our first good one, I consider.
I would agree, Philly Fanatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
zombies are cool.
And there's plenty that we didn't talk about in our first go-round.
Right, yeah.
We covered very pop culture-centric zombies, and we wanted to do a little more necromantic stuff.
Yeah. That sounded odd, but...
We want to do more necromancy.
That's better.
We wanted to bring dead things back with magic.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now it's not fucked up.
It's the magic of podcasting.
Hooray. Let's get into it. So, the zombie, as it exists, it was originally a part of Haitian mythology.
Yes. But we should probably plug our big source, the Monstrous series on zombies.
Yes, the Monstrum
series on zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's got a kind of a rich history of that kind of Haitian connections and voodoo.
Yes, Vodou.
Vodou
And voodoo and Vodun. And these are all separate factions, and separate seems wrong. Separate religions.
Yes.
Essentially.
There's a bit of a, kind of similar to our witches episode, there's a bit of kind of a red tape we want to step carefully around on this topic.
Well, yes, but also we just don't want comedy poison.
Yeah, comedy poison is what we want to avoid. So
horrible human tragedy is not a funny thing to joke about.
Yes.
Anyway, slavery.
Not a joke.
Not jokes. No,
yeah.
But zombies did come out of a tradition that originated as a result of the Atlantic slave trade, of the African diaspora kind of syncretizing all of their various mismatched beliefs together into something.
They were, in a way, reducing their culture, so they grew back and formed kind of a new unified version.
Yeah,
as people in tough situations do.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
and a part of this new kind of syncretist religion of voodoo. I'm not clear on the differences, and I'm not going to pretend to know. Disclaimer. But a key thing here is the human body is effectively just a meat sack, and there are 2 parts of the soul: the T-bonange and the gros bonange, which mean the little and big good angel, respectively.
Okay, and these are kind of the two factions that make up a person.
Yes, the T-bonange is the consciousness, the personality, the willpower, the ability to connect with the spirits, like the Loa of that particular religion, that particular mythology. And the gros bonange is the part of the animating spirit that is responsible for movement and breathing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, your kind of maybe nervous system.
The unconscious mind, as it were.
Yeah, you don't need to pay attention if you're breathing.
The reflexes, the autonomic.
The thoughts, and yeah, reflex is a good word for it.
Yeah. Maybe the instincts. I would.
Okay.
I you know what? I don't know enough about this duality to say that for sure, but that sounds right to me, because a gifted, practitioner of voodoo could, I'm just going to use voodoo as a catch-all.
Yes.
Because it's the word I'm familiar with. that's not accurate, but bear with me. A gifted practitioner of voodoo called a Bokor, which there are two kinds of voodoo priests. Bokors are quote-unquote the bad ones, but it's much more complicated than that, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
But
and some terminology that's, once again,
yes,
a lot of landmines here.
Right, of course. Yeah, of course. Frankly, I think voodoo is an under-respected religion, and I wish I knew as much about voodoo as I knew about, like, Judaism.
Correct, right.
Yeah. So a gifted Bokor can steal a soul's T-bonange and put it in a bottle and use that to control the corpse and the Grobanage, because the soul takes, like, I think it's like 2 weeks or some length of time to fully go away from the body.
Mm-hmm. They use the bottle to control almost like it sounds wrong, like a video game controller.
It's more like having the deed to a person, I think.
Like having the head of a puppet string.
Yes, but not as active. I don't think you need to, like, wave the bottle around to control the zombies. I think
it's not left and right. You just have to have it, and it obeys the commands.
I think it just has to be in your possession.
Okay.
I think, like, you don't even have to
have it on you.
Yeah. It can be like you can have, like, a cabinet, because, like, the idea is that these priests and priestesses of voodoo would have a entire, like,
arsenal
array
collection
of formerly dead slaves working for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the fear of that is that not only can your body be enslaved, but your soul. That's where the aspect of zombies as horror comes in.
That you've lost your soul.
Yeah.
Your eternal happiness, eternal end place. Wow. You've been paused. You've been paralyzed.
Yes, and
you can't pass on.
There's no freedom even in death. There is no freedom. Absolutely.
You're alive, but you're not free.
Comedy, poison.
Absolutely.
Horror and comedy are two halves of the same coin, though. That's the conceit of our show.
I think that's the idea.
The first joke that was ever told was, you're a caveman, you're walking along a path, and you hear rustling in the bushes, and you think, oh shit, a saber-toothed tiger. And your friend Oog jumps out and is like, Oog fucking got you. Oog got you so fucking good, you should have seen your fucking face. And meanwhile, your brain has been ramping up to, okay, saber-tooth tiger, what do I know about these? How do I stab them? How do I stab them so good? How do I know the secret caveman trick? And then, once you see it's Oog, the brain has to be like, okay, we're all the way over here. What do I do with this extra energy? Just, like, I don't know, make the lungs do something. And then Oog's like, what the fuck did you just do?
What was that? Well, what did you just call me? And they fight.
And then it's like,
the second joke is when
and then Oog kills you, and then God shows up, and he's like, "What'd you do?" It's like, I'm not Oog's keeper, okay?
I was gonna say the second joke is when a real saber-tooth tiger comes and gets Oog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as you're reacting to the first one.
Oh, that's called sci-fi, I think.
Yeah, so that's
Did you ever see that one webcomic that's like prehistoric science fiction? Like, me put fire in cave. You don't know what do. You play God. And then like, no, keep people warm. And then like the entire planet gets set on fire as soon as he does it, and he's like, me go too far.
Yeah, prehistoric science fiction.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so enough about the first joke ever. Let's talk necromancy.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're frequently familiar with the more D&D form of the necromancer.
Correct.
The one that's been boiled down through the ages, the pointing at bodies and making them rise.
Yeah.
Or in the fun Diablo sense, pointing at bodies and making them explode.
Ooh, also fun.
Yeah. But the creations, the zombies, your thralls, and so forth, that's what we want to delve into.
Yeah. Yeah. Is necromancy kind of fucked up?
It's yes.
Okay. I guess so, yeah.
I mean, I think the more important question in D&D terms is like resurrection fucked up. And yes, I think just as much as necromancy. If you really get into it philosophically.
I guess. Well, how? We got time.
D&D is a realm of where there's places where you go after you die.
Yeah.
And they could be great terror places, they could be hells, and they could be, heavens.
Basically.
And if you were to transport onto one of those and then get pulled back, I can't imagine your life in the mortal plane being a very particularly enjoyable one.
Mm.
If it's better, if it's worse, it's vastly different. So it sounds like well, they explore this with like resurrection magic, how you get penalties to certain stats and stuff like that when you return, because you're just so off in this realm versus the one that you were briefly in.
Right, it's a great barrier.
Yeah, and it's also kind of so I guess in the D&D sense of you're dropping like kobolds like no problem, raising them up, it's a little different. But you get into the whole what is an NPC, what is a PC, what's a monster, and like kind of the deeper implication of all that stuff.
The intersection of like the storytelling aspect of D&D with the fact that it is a game, like the video gaminess interacting with the narrative value of it, there's a certain disconnect between gameplay and story, essentially, as there often is in that kind of game.
Yeah, and there's some stuff that I appreciate from both angles. Like the gamey stuff, in my local D&D game, we have a necromancer of sorts, and he has been having fun time collecting a couple zombies. Yeah. One of which the DM described his head blowing up, so it's a headless zombie. And the other one is a little tiny...
immortal then?
Yeah, technically. And the other one's a nice gnome. He's like, oh, that's a cool guy. You're a zombie now.
Oh, so... that's weird. That's kind of fucked up. Like you're collecting people you murdered, like Pokemon.
You're Pokemoning the zombies.
We can't do another Pokemon episode. We are 0 for 3.
Yeah, so that's a version of it. The other cool thing I think I like about the D&D zombie is that it can take the shape of whatever monstrous creature you're up against.
Yes, but you can only... I would need to check the stats on Finger of Death, but I believe any...
but a humanoid killed by this.
Yeah, no. So the only zombies you can raise back from the dead as slaves under your control, because that's what you're doing. Yeah. It's not good. It's not acceptable, but you can only do that with humanoids.
We talked about zombie rights a little bit in our first go-round.
Yeah, but it's been a year. I do not remember.
Okay. Yes, how that's, and I think in our research we uncovered there's a lot of other stuff tied to that. So... Oh, yeah, no. Zombies are a metaphor for every horrible thing that's ever happened to black people. We cannot... Right. So maybe puppeteering might be a better term. Oh, no. I think we should be honest about what it is. What it is you are enslaving a corpse and the animating spirit left behind in it. And they're no longer free even in death. No. A part of them. Although you can... Like, once the body is destroyed, or once the spell ends and you deanimate it, then presumably the gros bonage goes up to the gros bonage goes back to rejoin the T-bonage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two are reconnected in an afterlife. Yeah, essentially you steal the willpower, and then the animating spirit temporarily puppeteers the corpse. Yeah. So it's just indentured servitude. You're a middleman. Or middlewoman. Or middle person. Yeah, you're a middle person that kind of intercedes between these two worlds. I'm sorry you had to use all those extra terms. It just takes some time living in the middle. Middle woman. So, anything? What else would you like to discuss regarding vis-a-vis necromances? You can't spell necromancy without romance, and that's why I want to go to Swatch-a-Lorette. So, Swatch-a-Lorette, where we ask the question of, would you give a rose to a necromancer? A necromancer. I was thinking zombie. The zombie itself. Well, 2 dates. The first one's with the zombie. Okay. Sends as an envoy. Okay. Yeah. You know what? No. I like the idea of dating
a necromancer.
First.
It's kind of like dating someone with kids.
Oh, and the kids are zombies.
Yes.
Well, I think it'd be very helpful, like, if, like, it was, like, a date at, like, their house, the zombies would, like, be cooking and stuff like that.
Their castle.
Yeah, okay.
I know how to pick them.
In the castle, and, like, you got some zombies, like, playing instruments in the corner.
Oh, that's fun.
It probably...
Smelly, but fun.
I don't know if they'd play well. I think that's a skill that you lose.
I don't know if you can...
Let me put it this way. What's the charisma of a zombie?
Oh, bad, probably. Probably extremely bad, because charisma is willpower.
Charisma is willpower.
In D&D. Not...
In D&D terms, they got -3 to performance checks.
Yeah,
so.
which kind of should be dexterity, which they also don't have. I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of drumming.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Drumming doesn't really require...
Or bells. Like a little bell choir.
Yeah.
I think a talented necromancer could use their team of zombies to,
you know what?
Put on a good date.
Better idea. I think skeletons.
Oh yeah.
If I were a necromancer and I were like, you know, sending people, like sending corpses around to do my bidding, skeletons. They don't smell as bad.
It's a lot nicer too. Yeah. Nicer to look at.
Plus, like they have the dexterity.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you get all the cool rare. You get
if they're trying to make like. If they're trying to do, like, instruments, like, they can just play the rips like a xylophone. You know how it be.
Yeah, you can get the cool Harryhausen animated team on it, too.
Yeah. Spooky scary.
Yeah. So, good. But on a date environment, it sounds like they're putting on a good show with their zombies. It's definitely what I would call a date plus.
Well, I mean, let's go back to the metaphor of dating someone with kids. If you were doing that, like, would you want... your date to just, like, have their kids, like, come out and do, like, a Von Trapp family, like, whatever the fuck?
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty creepy.
You think so?
It depends what it is. Yeah. If I was imagining literally, like, the Von Trapp family.
No, I see it as, like, the kids are trying to help out. And so they're, like, wearing, like, bow ties and stuff like this. It's like, right this way, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, your reality
it's a lot more
again,
adorable.
Your reality is, again, a Keenan and Kel cartoon.
No. Keenan and Kel would be bad. You don't want Keenan and Kel setting up a dinner.
No. I'm glad that Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore are
married.
Rock solid.
Yeah, no, the cake would, like, explode. Somehow.
Kel makes either of them undateable. If they weren't already, like, a solid married couple.
You come in for a date and there's just, throwing bowling balls around and... spilling orange soda all over the food and table and destroying it. Yeah, no, that's a bad date.
It's amazing that we only had 1 year of Finding Monsterite in us before we turned into Keenan and Kel with Adam and Allie.
Yeah, we've just fully devolved into the other show.
Wait until Keenan and Kel, you guys start talking about how much Aaron wants to have sex with a vampire or something.
That's a mess. This whole show is a mess. But
beautiful mess.
So that's my take on dating with kids. What's yours? It can be cute. It might not be.
Okay. I mean, I guess I kind of want to put myself out there for the kids to, like, make myself the person with something to sell, kind of, in a sense, in, like, a transactional
What
view.
are you selling to kids?
I'm not...
that's
basically just selling the concept that I'm good with kids.
Okay, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to my partner in this situation.
Right. So,
like,
all right, that's good.
You know, I can take some kids. I can take the hell out of some kids to the zoo. I can do that all day.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
So it'd probably be good with them. How about you and just the necromancer herself? It seems like you're kind of woozing her. That's not it. Oozing her. Nope, that's not it.
Not yet.
Wooing her. You're currently wooing her.
Yeah, wooing.
Yeah. Do you think there might be trust issues?
I have trust issues
already.
I have trust. God, we don't have time to get into that.
So, do you think someone that raises dead would be less trustful?
No, because if I betray her, I could always just She could always just kill me, which I would be okay with because that would be hot. And just raise me from the dead. And oh my god, I am a vampire. Did this happen already?
All right, I think I've recalled the premise of this segment that points out our romantic preferences and how far they differ. So it sounds like the necromancer's getting a rose.
Absolutely, yeah, she's great.
Great.
A rose from the dead. Did I already do that joke?
No.
Oh, good. Good.
First time.
A rose for the dead. Hell yeah. So that brings me to my next question, Squatchler.
Mm-hmm.
Squatchler.
Oh.
The Squatchler.
Yes.
Yeah. So, does the necromancer get a rose from you?
Necromanceress
in this instance.
Yeah, I don't think the kid thing would be weird. And especially when they're...
Okay, she doesn't actually have kids. She has skeletons.
Yeah, I know. If at any point she proposed that the skeletons are her kids, or treated them in any kind of way like that, I'd be weirded out by it. Okay,
let me raise you this question, Daenerys.
Yeah, what about her?
The dragons are her kids.
Dragons as kids, I get.
How do you get dragons but not skeletons?
Because the dragons are... You know what they're pets in a larger sense. Like children pets, like in like a dog mom way. I understand that.
I mean, not quite, because they're very intelligent, the dragons in Game of Thrones, and so like they are kind of
they're smart, but
adopted.
you can't tell the dragon to go stand in that corner and do nothing.
I think you can, yeah.
No, they would die.
You could do that with the skeleton.
They would feast. Exactly, that's what's weird.
You could do that with a kid.
You can't do that with a kid.
My parents did that all the time.
It's one thing if they have kids. These aren't kids. These are skeletons that are hanging out around her. And it's I don't think even if it was regular skeletons, it would smell weird. I think it would sound terrible. Imagine just hearing like bony footsteps everywhere.
That sounds funny. I like that a lot.
No, not for me.
All right.
I would absolutely have trust issues with I don't want to die and become one of them.
Oh, do you think that's what the trust issues were?
Yes, that's what I was describing.
Oh, my trust issues were just like actual emotional trust issues that I cannot get over.
No, that's what I was putting down as.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
No.
Oh, now I'm thinking about that. I'd be
you
down. I feel like
you literally described like I perfect, exactly what I wanted. This is very hot.
It is, yeah. No, I feel like I'm more used to her alive than dead.
I want to go through another wonderful segment with you. Mm-hmm. The classic one: therapy animal needs therapy.
Zombies are therapy animals.
Are they though?
Can't talk.
They can't talk.
Can't grow as people. So therapy animal.
But can they listen? To a necromancer, they listen all the time.
I feel like
they're great listeners.
I feel like a therapist
has to actually give advice.
Yeah, a therapist is not just a listener.
Okay,
that's you're describing a mirror. That's not healthy.
Therapy animal then. Necromancer.
Therapist.
Because they deal with a lot of like beings.
Grief counselor.
I don't think they.
Yes. I think
the necromancy.
Yes.
Is a bad way of dealing with grief.
No. I think it's the best way to deal with grief ever. I think this is a new level.
I think raising.
I think I'm going to bring my goldfish back from the watery depths of the sewers, Adam.
Yeah, and having a skeleton goldfish float around you every day.
Oh, that's dope.
And then putting spell slots into it every day.
Ooh.
Just to keep it still floating around is very. It's not letting go.
I feel like that's fine.
My diagnosis needs therapy. But maybe I'm not the therapist in this situation.
No, the necromancer isn't. They say they're doing fine.
Yeah. I suppose anyone can co-opt any of these roles and just... It's like, no, I'm an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I comfort people.
How as a human person do you be a therapy animal?
You just like cuddle with people.
All right, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
A good old-fashioned spook-off.
It's because this segment doesn't really work. Ever.
Alright, forget that then.
Sorry.
You know what we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
Fucking hellfire. What the fuck?
Instead of back into this, I could say, would you like to play some Monster Rehab? We find a role for society for the necromancer. since we're kind of debating if they'd be a therapist or not.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. What if it was a job that would be good? So, good at management. Yes. Mm-hmm. They're really good at giving out orders and pointing people around.
I don't know. I think they're good at managing something that does not need to eat, breathe, drink, or sleep, and obeys their every command unquestioningly.
Robotics.
Fuck. Alright.
Yeah.
Wait, this is some, like, Vampire the Masquerade Zimase shit of the... how do you pronounce... I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's very confusing, but, like, this is some flesh crafting, like, weird stuff. Like, you're putting, like, a human bone into a robot so that you can, like, move it with your brain. I don't know about that one, Chief.
I don't know. Let me put it this way.
Ooh.
What was that?
Could a necromancer make a cyborg?
So
that's an awesome question, and I'm so proud of myself for asking it. This deserves a mojito.
Would that be a... what part is the cyborg? So are you saying, like, putting robot parts onto an already zombie?
No.
Are you saying bringing back to life like Cyborg from DC Comics who died?
Yeah, like putting on the robot parts while it's dead and then undeading it.
Yeah, so like robot Frankensteining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
I think that's a great move. You can use technology to like replace the parts of your necromancy that you're bad at. If you're not the heart guy, then you can do the pacemaker
or address the limits of necromancy itself. Put a CPU in the brain.
Oh, so have the smarter zombies via robotics.
Death, grief counselor, therapist. You have been stopped.
So this technomancer side of the necromancer. A techno necromancer.
A tech neck. A neck tech.
Tech neck.
Neck tech. A tech deck.
Yeah. You can raise the dead with a tiny skateboard.
You can't raise the dead, but you can do some sweet flips with your fingers in social studies.
Right. So yeah, that's the tech necromancer is a real and a very cool premise. Because I see, besides the CPU brain, there's other ideas like, example, versus the slow zombie. Increasing speed. Imagine something that's not the lumbering, biomechanics of the human legs. So, like, of course, I go to like the trank treads.
Tank treads?
Tank treads.
Yeah.
The trank teds. All those Theodores that went to the army.
Rest in peace, Theodores.
Yeah. So that move that's a move for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I think of this, but like, if in violence, other weapons.
Yeah.
As part of your body.
Here's a concept.
In violence. What the hell? Combat oriented.
In terms of violence, so you put a bone in a computer.
Okay.
And you can, I believe that's a plot of Weird Science. And you can control the computer, essentially. That's the concept of the side zomb.
I think this happened in the Jumpstart game where you become a dog. You put a bone in a computer.
Oh, okay, yeah. That
shrink down, hang out with insects.
Oh,
but please continue.
So, can you just put bone powder in anything and say it's a zombie?
That's
put a bone powder in a gun.
And you fire it off. I won't like fire off.
How much bone or like people goop do you got to put into something before it becomes a manipulatable object as a necromancer?
I mean, that's a great point. I don't.
Are you just like maybe it depends on the situation, but like I am picturing just like Magneto, but with dead bits.
Yeah. If you had a bone in the shape of a bullet, I think a necromancer could fire that off.
Here's a concept. So there's a D&D monster called a crawling claw.
Yes.
That is just a disembodied hand.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just, like, if you just give that a gun?
I was going to say that as a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you give that a gun.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Or a crossbow. Or a gun. Just a gun.
Yeah, they've got guns.
Yeah, they got guns.
Yeah, so I think that counts. You can control. It's something you can control.
Yeah, so then if you just So then what is functionally the difference between that and just, like, covering a gun in, like, blood and, like, enough of a being's vital essence to say, like, oh no, the broken is in here.
Enough muscle around the trigger finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a necromancer could contract it, and boom, goes the gun. So, I think we're onto something terrible and wonderful.
Oh, not yet.
We're getting there.
So, okay. Cut off the hand, get a crawling claw. Can you do that with other body parts?
Like the feet? And the legs? And the ears? And the clavicles? The penis?
Yes.
Are you talking about the penis?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know where I was going with that. It was nowhere good.
You see me mark it slowly on this desk. I've got a whole tally thing going.
The alley tally?
Yeah.
Oh man, now I gotta make that spreadsheet. Well, that's my karma, I guess.
That's the price paid. So
worth it for that zombie dick. I guess that counts as a rose for the Squatchlorette.
Absolutely. So that's resolved. The other, but this necrotech is really, really interesting. I just like the implications are.
Oh, you could bring back Flash. I really want to go and see, like, old Homestuck, you know?
Yeah, no, you can bring back the Flash Media Player.
Yeah, with necromancy and technomancy.
Old fashioned. You can you bring back VCR technology.
Ah, damn, that's good. You can record something on a VCR, like a broadcast signal.
Yeah, you can send a new ringtone from your PC to your phone.
Ooh, you can make my car less shitty.
Yeah, you can.
I hit a nail at some point. Somebody just put nails in the road. Don't worry about it. And I had a flat tire, and I managed to, like, you know, find my jack and put it up and everything. And, like, a bunch of big, like, pieces of metal just came out from under my car, and I was like, that's probably bad, right? And, like, there's just, like, these rusted slags of metal under my 15-year-old car.
That's not good.
Yeah, so if I were a techno-necno tech deckmancer, then I could fix that.
Now, although, how far are you averting things? Are you just bringing back dead technology? It sounds like a graveyard type thing. Like, they would go into, like, the car museum and have a ball there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know how, like, sometimes they do zombies?
Yeah.
And it's like a big ball of people.
Like kind of the ant ball, but zombies.
Yeah.
Like World War Z has some of those sequences.
If you were a techno necromancer, you could do that with like a bunch of cars, not in a dump or something, and make like a big, Transformers testicle monster thing.
Yeah, you big giant junkyard dog.
Yeah, the thing with two wrecking balls that's its balls, and John Turturro is like, I'm directly beneath enemy scrotum.
Yeah, he's like, hey, do that military thing where you can fire it once and it's dead. If you're calling the first film, like, there's a little tiny boombox robot where you cut off its head and its head turns into an iPhone still. Mm-hmm. No, shoot the giant, a pyramid-sized one once and you're fine. That was a very specific critique from 15 years ago.
And you know what? Transformers was perfect otherwise.
Yeah, no, those two things and you're rock solid steady.
Oh, wait, shit, are Transformers a monster?
They're aliens.
I think so.
They're absolutely aliens. And they're monstrous.
A lot of techno necromancy going on in there. Like, a lot of, like, Optimus Prime sacrificed himself.
Don't worry, Shia, I'm back.
Yeah, no,
that happens a lot.
It's a lot about sparks and, and sources and energy. You could totally do a necromantic read of Transformers.
Yeah.
And how often they're reborn as another toy.
Mm-hmm.
So
often they transform, even.
Yeah, and how often they combine with the other toy that you don't have yet and is only available on, like, eBay for 4 times the market price.
But zombies.
Yeah.
So, let's think back, all the way back in time, to one of the core concepts of episode 1.
Okay.
And that is farm. Zombie farm.
Where they're doing the farming, or where they're being farmed to?
Yes.
That does not answer the question.
We had that exact same
exchange.
Farm. Zombie farm.
Oh, they're not the farmers. They're the cattle.
They're both.
Wow, amazing. But no, so farm the zombies for the zombie meat. Who's running the farm?
Zombies. You're back on this meat one.
Yeah.
It's sustainable, I guess.
What do we think about that a year into the pandemic and such?
I think
I started working customer service, and boy, am I ready for this.
I think dead bodies might have more value than the meat of a zombie.
Like for Chinese traditional medicine stuff, like drink a toenail or something.
Well, you ever see that thing like, what's the value?
You know how like in Chinese traditional medicine you drink a toenail and it fixes you?
I mean, like in the sense of imagine this. They did I saw a numbers run once about what's the value of a human body in terms of like the iron content in your blood and like what your organs might like run you and stuff like that. I'm also talking about the decaying property of maybe a more efficient graveyard system. They do the thing where the people become the trees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really kickstarts that process. I think that might be slightly more valuable than, a bit of meat that goes into a person for a while and might not be even good.
Yeah.
Unless you start breeding zombie cattle.
Oh, we're describing an organ farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that something like that might be a little more beneficial.
Would zombie cattle need to eat brains? Or would they just be like, grains?
Yeah, no, you feed them grains. You feed them, like, it's something crazy, like something on candy that has the same properties of brains, like Skittles. They're like, oh, yeah, we learned that this does basically the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember reading a thing that they would feed cows, like, bits of chocolate and Skittles and stuff to flavor the milk better.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why. I thought they just had it. I thought just, like, they need sugar, and this is the most efficient way of getting it.
Oh, no, yeah.
Huh.
It's a thing.
Sweet milk.
In a way, agriculture is kind of like zombies.
the dominoes and some asshole in Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
And it ends with me contemplating if I'm a zombie.
All of the problems come back to Mesopotamia, but that's just because that's the first place that had a society, I guess.
Yeah. You can also blame the penultimate place that had a society.
Well, I mean, besides, like, the lizard people that ruled during dinosaur times.
Of course. You can't discount them.
Obviously, no, yeah.
Well, in a future episode.
We respect their culture. So, other things that we talked about in episode 1.
I like that one story where they go to the museum and use the necromantic power of the giant human skeleton. Those lizard people.
Are you doing a Dresden Files riff based on our conversation we had earlier off mic? Because that's comedy death.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, let me bring that back from the comedy dead with a little. So, oh yeah, zombie apocalypse plans. We are. I am crashing it in your place for a minute.
Yep.
And we revise our zombie plans.
Oh, I mean, this will be a little easier for us to meet up. We're already here.
Yeah.
Actual zombies coming. Are they controlled by a necromancer this time?
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah. In that case, like that's...
We just get his ass.
Yeah. we get in your car. Because, what other use do you got for that?
No, well, your car is newer.
Right.
And therefore less likely to break. My car is bigger, but like...
Better weapon.
I guess. No, my car is for when there's a werewolf apocalypse, because I checked this. My car is silver colored. They do use silver in the paint. So technically I can use it as a werewolf weapon.
God, I guess we'll save that for that. For me and the necromancer, that's not good. Can we go to a sporting goods store?
Where's the nearest one?
There's an archery range over that way.
Do you know how to do a bow and arrow?
Yes.
Okay, cool. My weapon of choice will be
I've got
Can I choose wit? Oh wait, if the necromancer is there, then I'm learning magic for sure.
Oh right.
If the necromancer is there, then I can learn magic.
I think I would pretend to be a zombie thrall. Classic Shaun of the Dead style.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. That might be a good... You can just hide out.
I could do that. I work customer service.
Mm-hmm. You can blend in with the masses.
Mm-hmm.
So
just be like, I'm vaccinated. I don't have to wear a mask. Look at the turtles. That's a lion, sir.
Yeah, solve that way.
They don't know what any animals are. They come to the zoo specifically for the gorillas, and then they look at like the squirrel monkeys, and they're like, "What are those baby gorillas?" Like they go to the zoo specifically for the elephants, and then they look at the zebras, and they're like, "Huh, I guess that's a fucking elephant." And then they ask me where the elephants are, and I'm like, "We haven't had elephants in 10 years." And then I go home, I watch you play Hades, and I fall asleep.
Yeah, I think a necromancer in this exact like week, a necromancer's weakness is a car next to them that's filled with gasoline.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just an excess amount. So I think a necromancer is technically a human, albeit a magic wielding one.
Yeah, I don't think there's a technical about it. I think that's just what they are. And in that case, my plan for a zombie apocalypse is to go up to the necromancer and be like, "Please teach me, you're so hot."
And my move might involve something exploding.
Mine too.
Great. So,
so now we're seeing a complete narrative here. If you listen to this episode backwards,
it's all come together.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you would like to cover, or we'd like to go to the final rating place?
Well, I mean, there's if a zombie were eating a foot,
okay,
would it start with the toes? Just bringing it all the way back. This was the first thing that I mentioned in episode 1. Wow, was that a red flag in hindsight?
My answer would be, if that's his thing.
I'm like looking.
If that's his thing, I'm not going to judge if he starts with his toes.
I'm like looking at a foot, and like I feel like if I were to eat it, the first part I would do would be like just like the big toe, just like slide it off like a corn dog on a stick, you know.
You see, I would start with the little toe and see if do I like this? If I do, I'm like, oh great, let me work my way up to the best toe.
That's the difference between you and me. I go for it.
Yeah,
I don't. Do you peel string cheese?
I don't eat string cheese.
I do eat string cheese, and I just bite it.
Do you peel the Twizzler that you can peel?
I don't eat Twizzlers. Do you? How do you eat Kit Kats?
I usually break them apart.
Nope. Go right for it.
Wow.
Eat it like a unit. Eat it as one whole unit.
That's messy.
So am I, Chief.
Hershey's bar, you do the same thing?
Yep. No.
Yeah. That's bad. Hamburger, though, I eat it as a whole thing.
Yeah. Like, what do you, like, take it apart?
Some people, like, take the bun off, you know?
Sometimes I'll take off the tomatoes. Even then, only sometimes. Sometimes I'll also take off the lettuce, just because, like... you know, like...
I'm laughing at the bottom of the conversation. I'm not laughing at, like, that's what the well looks like after 52 weeks.
No, here's the... Okay, so, like, lettuce on a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
If they put, like, fresh lettuce on that thing, that's gross. That's like when you microwave lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you, like, take a whole, like, hot sandwich and you, like, microwave it.
It's like the hot cold burger from...
Hot lettuce is the grossest shit. What you do is... What I do is I saute lettuce first. Or at least a little bit. Lightly saute, and then put it on the cheeseburger. Is it less crisp? Yes. But it's worth it, because it's all hot, it's all soft. It doesn't, like, do the hot lettuce, hot spinach thing, where it just fucking... Why have you Googled McDonald's?
So they have this... McDonald's once had this thing called the McDLT. And what they did is they separated the ingredients by hot and cold.
Much like a necromancer would separately wield the T-bonange and the gross bonange. In this case, it's very gross.
Yeah, it's a very gross bonange. You'd have the hot patty on one side, and the tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese are on the cold side.
Why is the cheese on the cold side?
Exactly.
You put the cheese where it melts.
Because they were monsters back then. Wow. Look at this horror.
Man, we deserve zombies.
Okay, and let's take that to the final rating place.
Like, just eat the, like, fucking hell. Make a salad.
They discontinued it if it makes you feel better.
Good, I hope so. Make a salad. Eat that on the side with some meat on the side. Don't put it all together.
You want to see the commercial with George Costanza?
Yes. And I'm gonna play the entire text of this minute-long commercial.
You say you're getting tired of lettuce and tomato hamburgers in this town that don't quite make it? Yeah! You say that just once you like your hamburger hot and your lettuce and tomato cool and crisp all at the same time?
No.
Yeah! Well, I say, you got it. I'm talking McDonald's new lettuce and tomato hamburger, the McDLT. I'm talking quarter pound of beef on the hot side. And the hot stays hot. The new McDLT. Hot. Crisp lettuce and tomato on the cool side. And the cool stays cool. The new McDLT. Cool crisp. The beef stays hot. The cool stays crisp. Put it together, you can't resist. The hottest taste, the coolest dish. Keep it hot, hot, keep it cool, cool. McDLT, McDLT, hot, McD, cool, crisp LT, McD, LT. It's a good time, hot, McD, for the great taste, cool, crisp LT of McDonald's. Could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever. McD, LT.
And I have completely downed my lemojito.
Final rating place.
Final rating place. Oh, it's Jason Alexander.
Yeah. George Costanza is who he plays.
Duh.
Yeah. So
Pour the wine and cut the cheese.
Right. Again, cut the lettuce and tomato and put them on the separate side.
So, final rating place, which is a difficult prospect when it comes to zombies.
Did we do them originally? Should we do the Necromancer this time?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, talking about the Necromancer, the concept of someone that summons dead and zombies and has them walking about.
I think we rated Frankenstein's monster twice also.
Oh, we'll average them out.
Oh.
For the presidents or whomever gets these files.
Yeah, for the president.
Can we send that in?
Can we send that to Joe Biden to see if he can use that to heal this broken nation?
He might get upset by our Organism 46B comments.
Well, I'm upset by his policy towards Israel, so we're even.
All right. So in that case, let's go with the Necromancer. I love the concept of summoning the dead. You're a monster magnet, essentially, and you work in dark arts and have no boss. That's great.
That rocks.
Yeah, kick ass. 9 out of 10.
I played a Necromancer in the very first D&D game I ever played. My first D&D character was Gwendolyn Morena, which who I created based on the Eagle song Witchy Woman.
Right, and she brings back the dead.
Yeah, and she brings back the dead, and you know what? She does it with a smile, goddammit. So, what I think attracted me to the concept of necromancy is just the notion of complete control over the universe that implies, and the concept of that power being wielded by a person who is
good,
good, fundamentally not selfish, but I mean good, who has conquered fear entirely.
Yeah, you are a literal good god walking among on the mortal plane
by having knowledge of the line between death and life. By knowledge is the antithesis of fear. By conquering fear and conquering death, you have already done more than any human being in history has ever done. And so I am going to, and I don't know if this is precedented, but considering that this is our anniversary episode, I feel like I have the power to do this. I am going to give Necromancers 150%.
Wow. Just through the roof.
Through the roof. That one's for Gwen.
You've brought back extra points.
Yes, I think the Phoenix was our highest rated monster.
It's just crazy.
I'm bringing it. I'm taking it higher.
All right. Well, we've broken the ceiling of our ratings, and we'll see how much higher we can fly.
Absolutely.
But we are just halfway through a June of the Living Dead.
We are.
And we've got many, many more moons to conquer. In fact, some moons, I hear, are haunted.
To a new world
of gods and monsters.